Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Gene, and in today's video we are going to build a selection tool in JavaScript. Now before we get too excited and jump into the coding part, I would like to take a step back and talk about the elements composing our selection tool. First, we have the frame in black. This is the selection area. Basically any elements inside it is selectable. Next, we have the selector in blue. This is the element that will be selecting other elements. And last, we have the elements. These are the selectable elements in pink right here. And they are the ones that we will be selecting using our selector. As you can see, these elements are in a much darker pink. This means that they are the selected elements. These elements right here are already selected. Alright, so now that we're done describing the elements composing our selection tool, I would like to show you a prototype I already built, and we will try to go over the logic behind that. Okay, so this is the prototype I have. As you can see, I want you to notice when I start selecting. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and select 4 elements right here. I just selected 4 elements. So I want you to notice a few things about the blue element right here. As we said, the selector in the image I showed you. The first thing that you notice is that the blue element started where I first clicked the mouse, and then it expanded up to where my current mouse is, my current mouse position. Second of all, the thing you can notice also is that this element is on top of the other elements. The third thing is that this element is flexible. It expands in every direction, as you can see. If I let go of this element, it will disappear, because this means that we have already selected the elements that we wanted. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and make another selection. I'm gonna start here, and then I will select these 2 elements. Now let's say I try to go over the edges of our selection area. As you can see, the element is not growing no more. The selector is not growing anymore. And this makes sense because I don't want to be able to select elements that are not inside the selection area. Now this is the basic rundown of what we are trying to achieve in this project. I'm gonna go ahead and open Visual Studio Code, and we will go over the HTML and the CSS structure of this project, and then we will code together the JavaScript part. Opening Visual Studio Code, you can see I already have a basic folder structure for this project. First, I have the index.html, the index.css, and the index.js. If you look at the structure I built here, we have the frame. This is the element that we saw in black on the image. We have the selector, and then I have a container containing the elements that we will be selecting. Next, I have the elements. These are the elements in pink. Opening the CSS file here, you can see I did some basic CSS resets. Next, we have the frame. I gave it a width of 100 pixels, margin auto to center it, and then I disabled the user select. On the selector, I gave it a position of absolute, width 0 pixels, height 0 pixels to make it invisible. It's got a background of blue and a border. I forgot to give this one a relative position so that the selector will be positioned relative to the frame. Next, we have the highlight class. This is the class that the selected elements will have. Coming down here, we have the container after. This is also some basic CSS resets, because in CSS, if you know, when you float an element, the parent collapses, so you have to clear after it. Next, we have the element. I just floated it left, gave it some width, and then we have a height of 200 pixels. I gave it some margin, and then I gave it a background. Okay,